We live.
Hey.
I to the G.
And we live on YouTube.
What's up, Facebook and YouTube? We just got to get. Hey, oh man, IG's getting quick now, man. That was quick. We live everywhere. IG, Facebook, YouTube. Welcome to another episode of Technically Speaking, when we are giving you news
that you can use.
And we got our host, the lovely Bobby with a Y, or Bobby with an I, because Y is for a guy.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
we're going to fix that in post.
Female.
You passed the test, Bobby. We got Corey Giovanni.
And you already know what it is. It's your boy Corey Giovanni tapping in one time for your mind, one sane for your brain. Hey,
that was pretty good, man. Geronimo, aka Tech Von Go, because Tech is my thing. So let's go ahead and jump to it, man. We got a lot going on today, man.
We got a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? And when I say for your brain, we talking about your mind, and Minecraft done did it again. God dog it. After being the best-selling video game of all time with an incredible 300 million copies sold, they are taking over the cinema. Now, mind you, get it? Mind you.
I see what you did there.
There's been a couple movies that dibbled and dabbled that came from the video game background. And recently, 2 years ago, Mario Brothers had did their rendition of Super Mario, which was actually pretty good. And my daughter to this day still watches it. So I wonder if it's gonna have the same effect. Is it gonna bring their core fans to the movie theaters? Or they just gonna wait for Disney Plus, not Disney Plus, but wait for the streaming services to get it? Because us gamers, because I say us because I'm still a gamer.
You still a gamer?
Okay. I'm still a gamer. I don't game this, but I game. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes we usually wait till it comes on streaming. Why? Because we are already in front of the computer twiddling our thumbs. Talk to me, Gino. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, so the Minecraft thing, when I saw that coming out, it took me back a couple of things. It was noted that it's the best-selling video game of all time. Craig.
Craig.
An incredible 300 million copies sold. How much does a video game normally sell for?
It depends on the video game, I think. Some of the kids' video games would be like $39.99, but when you get to the Call of Duty status, they're like $59.99.
So let's go
$69.99.
Let's go $39.99. $39.99 times 300 million. Ooh,
that is 120 million right there, buddy.
I'm down for that. Sign me up. But so that, not only that, we throwing numbers out.
No. I take that back. That's 1.2 billion.
Oh, that sounds a bit better. Yeah. Let's get the correct amount. There we go. So because we all got kids, right? And from my parents out there, and two of us we got older kids. We have adults. So when my older kids were about 12, 13 years old, 10, 11 years ago, Minecraft was popping. I remember watching them play it. I had no idea what was going on. I'm just watching them building all kind of stuff and doing all kind of ridiculous things, right? Fast forward now, the little kids right now are still playing it. It is still as hot as it was 10, 11 years ago. That thing is thanging, man. So it makes sense to make a movie. Go ahead.
Okay, so you think about video games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Video games do shape people's careers, right? Some video gamers from back in the day, they end up going into technology. Like I went into technology because I love video games to the point where when I got older, it wasn't so much video games, but it was the experience of technology, how technology was instantaneous. So I got into cell phone, right?
Okay.
Some people who got into video games like Street Fighter, they became MMA sports fighters. Which my cousin is actually, me and my cousin, we used to play Street Fighter all the time. He went into MMA for a while. So I'm thinking Minecraft, they're probably going to be some construction owners because they're building, right?
Yeah.
And you're having fun doing what you love to do.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're doing this and you probably built a career out of it. Because I know, look, everybody who I know that went to the military plays Call of Duty, and they dope.
I know a lot of people that were in the military that play Call of Duty.
Right. So I say
Not
that
me,
to
Corey.
say this.
Not me.
Not
No.
me.
What? Y'all don't play Call of Duty?
I didn't want to take that work home with me. I'm just saying.
Man, it's the possibilities.
It blows my mind that somebody thinks you can press a button and all of a sudden you know how to shoot a weapon. Get out of here with that.
Well, you got to move the joysticks.
I mean, it worked for Kevin Hart right along.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god.
You became a cop, and they shot 2 movies.
Hey, but good point. What you said about how video games could shape, your careers. I remember back in the Street Fighter days, that those of us that might be a bit more mature. Remember, we used to go to the liquor store and put the quarter up on the game.
In the machine.
No, when you put the quarter on the game, be like,
oh,
I got
that. Yeah.
Yup. I mean, fast forward right after that, I did Taekwondo because, man, I was trying to be Ken and Ryu, man, with the all dude.
Yeah. I was the E Honda.
Yeah, man. Hey, and I had a mad crush on Chun-Li, boy. Stop playing. She had them thick thighs. Woo.
Man, you.
And then the movie came out.
Well, see, when I saw the animated movie, I saw my brother had a Japanese bootleg. Don't ask me how, don't ask me why, but he did.
How? Why, Corey?
Crenshaw.
Crenshaw.
Possibly be. But back in the 90s, when you get a bootleg of a cartoon, everything is in there. So it was like everything. Like they didn't edit nothing. Like I was like, yeah, I'm not supposed to be seeing this at this age, but I'm watching it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, and then somebody was like, what is it? I was like, it's Street Fighter. He's like, oh, that's anime. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And then it was put it like this. I would not let my children watch it.
It's something that could definitely be X right now.
Yeah, TVMA. And then I looked at Chun-Li differently. So I was like, you know what?
I told you I had a thing for Chun-Li. We got a comment from our boy, the one and only Unstoppable Season over here in IG.
Season, what's going on, brother?
Minecraft so legendary that the original Super Mario Bros. Sold 58 million copies, which was super epic when we were kids. True, I used to play the hell at that Super Mario. When it messed up, you took the cartridge out and you, Minecraft sold nearly 6 times that. Crazy numbers. Yes, and then he got a oh my god emoji with the bags, followed by the bags. They made a bag. And you know what? I'll throw this out there too. Some parents may have said this, those video games won't make you any money. Maybe. I mean, we got you. Maybe
there's some Twitchers out there. There's 100 millionaires.
Some of them gamers are streaming and making some paper, man. And not only that, like you said, it could be a doorway for tech careers. I'm all about that. So I mean, you could learn how to develop and code and maybe make the next Minecraft. So parents out there, encourage the kids. Like maybe you can use that as a way to guide them into tech, because I'm always going to advocate for that. So that's my takeaways from that. Anything else to close us off on that one, Bobby?
Nope. Just definitely encourage you to get your kids into tech. If your kids are even showing any type of artistic personality and stuff, get them coding. Do it young.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Before we jump into that, I do want to mention I have a cousin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes he listens. Shout out to Greg GP. You know what I'm saying? Greg GP. So, he was the first person I ever seen win a Madden tournament. And it's funny because of the fact that Madden tournaments back then were epic. Like you get football games, you get to play in Times Square. He didn't get that far because it was the Madden tournament. But he won to the point where back then it was called EB Games. And EB Games get set up in his living room, 2 40-inch screen TVs. This before there was any 50-inch screens. And then we were all playing
there.
But he also was he has great football intellectual, what is it called? Football IQ, sports IQ. He has great sports IQ. Unfortunately, he had a turn of events recently. I'll say the last couple of years, he went blind.
Oh no!
But when we sit down and talk, because he can still use his senses and listen, we still talk about football all the time. He'd be like, because he calls about middle name, he'd be like, Giovanni, the Cowboys ain't gonna do good this year, but my Dolphins gonna win. So we go back and forth.
Oh my God.
So we started doing a podcast show with him, but you know what I'm saying, timing didn't permit. But I told him I'm gonna have him on the show sometime whenever we start talking, when we go have an episode full-fledged, like about sports and stuff like that. Sports IQ, it's up there.
That's what's up, man.
And that goes to show you, even though you lose your sight, doesn't mean you lose your vision.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. I like that. That was a good one. Well, what else we got next coming up? Actually, so shout out Minecraft movie coming soon. I'm taking the family. You gonna take the family to go see it? Take the kiddos?
You know what? I might. What about you, Bobby? Talk to me.
We'll see. Now I'll check out a couple of trailers and stuff, and if it sounds good, see if the girls will even be interested in it. Honestly, because my daughter's into Roblox.
Oh yeah.
Which we got about Roblox later.
We're gonna talk about that.
But right
speaking
now,
of trailers, do you know there's a new Mufasa movie coming out? And with that, with that, we have some. Hopefully he's in that movie so we can pay him his tribute and respect. But the late great James Earl Jones has passed away at 93.
93, man.
This man was the voice of Darth Vader, Luke, your father, Mufasa. You were born to be a king. And he also played in classics we know, Coming to America 1 and 2. Conan the Barbarian, didn't know that. Field of Dreams, didn't know that. The Great White Hope, saw that. The Sandlot, yep. 3-time Tony Award winner, 2-time Emmy Award winner, Grammy Award winner. Man, rest in power, OG James Earl Jones.
So yeah, man. Definitely sad news. I mean, he was 93. So lived a very fruitful life with a bunch of accomplishments, man. And definitely an OG because he set the standard, right? You don't have to be in entertainment, acting, whatever. Just whatever you're gonna do, just be exceptional, right? Like him, right? We're not definitely thank you, you know, James Earl Jones for everything he gave us, because I mean that stuff to this day I still cry with Foster man.
I think that's the first movie I ever cried in. That was the first movie theater I ever cried in. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I'm not saying I'm too hard or anything. It's just that it caught me off guard. He the king of the jungle. He thought he was gonna raise Simba, be king, and then he gonna sit back and chase the hyenas into the sunset. No.
No, definitely have to give him his flowers.
I'm choking a little bit right now.
I know, man. I know. You get it out. Hey, man, real men cry. It's all right.
And I hope we do whenever we do family movie night. The girls always ask us to watch stuff that we watch growing up, stuff that I don't have to like pre-watch before they watch it, type of thing. And one of them, 2 or 3 months ago, we watched The Sandlot.
Classic movie.
So my daughter's sitting over here thinking the dog is gonna get over the fence, and you know, they start hatching these little things to try to get the ball, and then here it goes in and snatches it, and oh my gosh! And of course, James Earl Jones, rest in peace, comes out and happens to be blind in that movie too, and starts talking about knowing Babe Ruth and everything. Really cool, some history in there, and anyways, my kids loved it.
Yeah, man. He left us with some amazing art, man. So we will never be forgotten.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put this out there because you know, since he has a Tony, he has an Emmy, and he has a Grammy, right? They need to do a stage play so he can be able to get not a stage play. They need to use hopefully they use his voice in Mufasa so he can get that Oscar. So he could become EGOT status because he definitely deserves it. EGOT is when you have Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. And there's very few out there. Whoopi Gold has it. Viola Davis has it. Denzel Washington has it. And a few others. And EGOT is very important for an accomplishment. It means that as a thespian, that means you're respected in all areas of the craft that you do.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he was. I mean, he broke a lot of barriers too, man. I mean, because he was coming up during the time where it may not have been so easy for minorities and black folks, man. So
Yeah,
he broke
93.
a lot of barriers and opened up opportunities for your Denzels and all your new generation.
Sidney Poitier,
Yep.
Eminem, they were,
Yep.
R.I.P. Sidney Poitier. Definitely, they did it with style and grace, right?
Yeah.
You didn't see them in the news or the blogs about scandals or anything, right? They made sure that they looked elegantly on the stage, right?
Yep.
They represented for those who came after them, and I appreciate that.
And then Unstoppable Season 2 said Corey Giovanni, same here, bro. As a kid, 2 times he cried in the movie. One when Mufasa died, and one Ricky from Boys in the Hood.
Ricky! Oh God, man, I got chills about that part right there, boy. Boys in the Hood was so real to me.
Yeah, it was. We were right
so
there too, man.
Yeah, bro. Like
that soundtrack forever. Rule number 1.
Don't trust nobody, especially a girl in a hooker spot.
Yep. How to survive. I was watching that with the song in South Central, learning how to survive. Man.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to me but it's so real. And the older folks don't talk about this stuff, like how their music shaped the soundtrack of their upbringing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We talk about it now, right? It's like I can remember I'll never forget when I first heard "Come a Chameleon."
Oh yeah.
Boys George. I love that song.
That was a good song, man.
That was the soundtrack of my upbringing.
Man, I don't care how gangster you think you are. When that come on, you singing it. You come and go. You come and go.
You could be in the club. You could be tugged out, pants sag, rag to the right, rag to the left. Colors was easy when it comes with like my dream.
Yup.
Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green. You can be as gangster as you want, but when Boys George came on with that,
hey, you singing that.
Or Billy Ocean. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning when the world started burning. Wait, let me not get us we do not need
we already got a copyright flag.
Listen, Corey. Listen, I got a voice on Jesus with love on a Sunday morning, brother. Let's keep it.
Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of music, we got with 50 Cent.
50.
What's going on with 50 Cent, brother?
Oh my God, 50 Cent. 50 Cent was on Mouthful of Game with Wallow and Gilly the Kid. Shout out to Wallow and Gilly the Kid on their podcast, Mouthful of Game. 50 Cent was at his event, Humor Harmony, and he said something which really, really made sense. Because whenever you get into an area of competition and you feel like you made it, there's always that one person that's gonna tell you like, you ain't make it.
It's always
you
that
barely here. And so Dame Dash was the inspiration for 50 to say, you know what? I'm gonna get it. And then because that's pretty much, I'm paraphrasing because I don't want to take away from Mouthful of Game. $1 million worth of game.
$1 million worth of game. $1 million
worth of game. I don't want to take away from their pockets.
That channel, watch the interview for sure.
Yeah, but 50 Cent was like, you know what? He said when he got his first deal, it was $1 million, and then he was like, Dame Dash asked him how much you get out the deal. He was like, I got $1 million, and Dame Dash was like, that ain't no money. And it gave 50 Cent that engine. It put the battery in his back. Ooh, okay. If you look at 50 Cent, Mr. You know what I'm saying? Go, it's your birthday, Mr. Power Universe. If you turn around, you will see a battery in his back that has Rockefeller, Dame Dash. Because that's the reason 50 said he gonna go hard. Okay. And unfortunately, Dame Dash. Well, 50 Cent said something. He told him, he was like, you broke. Ooh. And then he taught the man you broke. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna tell you like this. I have no disrespect for Dame Dash because he did something that most people in his era could never do. He went to a label and took an artist and said, "Give me money to start my own label." And they wasn't feeling him at itself. So what he did, like all us entrepreneurs did, they got it out the trunk. And then the labels came back to them. They say, instead of giving me 10 million, I want 100 million. And he smashed it and birthed Rockefeller Records. And they went on to do as much as what they did. Now, back to 50 Cent. Since the humor harmony, in that interview, they talked about how Hurricane Chris was hating on him. Designer, he was like, I was going to sign Designer, but he only had one song. And here's the problem. Back in our day, when we hustled with music, we had more than one song. We always had more songs, even if we didn't have a song. Yeah, I got the song right now. My engineer is mixing. That's it. So, you know what I'm saying? He turned all them disses into a book promo for his movie called The Accomplice. Who winning? 50 is winning. He said, you know what? Boom. But Chamillionaire back in the day had beef with 50. And they met each other in an event. And 50 Cent said, and Chamillionaire was like, hey, why'd you diss me? So he said, put him into the corner. He was like, look, I gave you an alley-oop.
Yep.
And if you take it, then your name is going to be ringing through all these networks. Because 50 said that I control the media and pop culture when I do stuff. They stuff only stays in the hip-hop vein, which is making sense. But if you look at Dame Dash, get ready for the horns on this. Dame Dash dropped his new network and told 50, he was like, hey, let's have a CEO war. 50 didn't respond, but Dame Dash got 75,000 downloads of his new network. So what he did with the alley-oop, he scored. Because nobody was checking for the new network. But now I'm checking for the new network.
Yeah.
But I'm still waiting for that 50 action.
Point,
50 Cent Action Network.
I'm definitely waiting for that 50 Cent Action Network. Nah, that's what's up though, man. That's what's up. I mean, I wonder too, if where Dame stood in that whole, back and forth, because Rockefeller was clicked up with Murder Inc. And 50 Murder Inc. didn't, get along. Murder Inc. cat got him. Oh, represent, huh?
I love rule.
Murder.
At the beginning, man, he had got blackball too. Yeah. So I don't know if Rockefeller, participated in that at all. But at the end of the day, man, they both winning with their networks. They shut it down out there in Shreveport. They had it popping out there, so they creating jobs and all that, man. And it was Hurricane Chris, right?
Hurricane Chris went in there. He said you're gonna give $500,000 to the police. 50 Cent is a businessman, and if you're gonna invest $20 million of your own money, I would have gave that city $1 million to make sure that my investment doesn't get messed up. So Hurricane Chris,
business man.
I totally forgot about your songs, but I know you had something popping back in the day. You did. You know what I'm saying?
I think you had Halle Berry.
He probably did, but he ain't got her no more. Nor did he get what he missed off on the alley-oop. He better go ahead and get this layup. He better get this layup. He better not come for me because I still got bars, baby, and I look. You know what I'm saying? My pen stay moving. Y'all just don't hear it. But if somebody comes for me,
go.
I'm ready.
We got some comments too. Unstoppable Season 50 been holding on to that for 20 years. LOL. Dame resume is unmatched. Jay, Lee Daniels, Kanye, and Kevin Hart came from Dame's tree. True, but much respect to 50 for the business moves. Good point. Yeah.
I got to debate that though. I got to debate it. Let me tell you something. When you have a good run, you disappear and let people rise, right? Dame was too much. He was too much of a, and I'm gonna say he was too much of a Diddy
dancing all in the videos.
all in the videos, right? Even you can even see some interviews with Dame Dash and Jay-Z in there. Dame is like wilding, and Jay-Z is just, because here's the thing: the loudest person in the room is what? The weakest person. I learned that off of American Gangster.
Good point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Pointblankperiod.com. LOL. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say this. Again, I respect Dame Dash, but the reason why he is in the position where he is, from me, and I'm only looking from an entrepreneurial, from a business point of view, be okay at taking the back seat and not being in front of the cameras. You know what I'm saying? You had Cameron, you had Kanye, Jim Jones. You had all these cats. You know what I'm saying? And they are successful. But you should be right there as far as behind the scenes. Because look at Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre ain't in the front.
Nope, but he's legendary.
He's not in the front. He's legendary. And he ain't got nothing. He ain't got to work for nothing. The thing about it is there's ways of what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go up in your business after you get to the glass ceiling, pivot, go somewhere else. And that's what I learned. I learned in all the successful artists that came from hip hop, that's not in hip hop. Like Ice Cube came from hip hop.
Pivoted.
He's known for some of his best movies. Will Smith came from hip hop. Will Smith is known more for his acting. Right? 50 Cent. He came from being an artist, but now he's a television and film global icon, mogul, right?
Yeah, because that pop. Matter of fact, I'm watching Ghost right now, the final season. Final season.
I'm watching it too.
You want a spoiler alert? No, I'm just kidding.
I already saw it.
You got some more comments. Unstoppable season. He said true. Corey Giovanni. Dave was heavy on the gas back then. Definitely all in the videos. I think that was supposed to say Dame. Yeah, he was all in the videos. Dr. Poole, what up? He said 50 Cent knows how to stay relevant without attracting heat. Yeah. I gotta challenge that.
Yeah.
Part of 50 Cent's brand is attracting heat. That's part of the brand. He does it on purpose. But it works for him. You know what I mean? Yeah, he does it the right way versus Dame. I think just gets some nerves.
Right. Because here's the thing. I really like Dame. And one day I pray that I will be able to work with him in the film industry. But one thing is for certain, two things for sure. 50 Cent, he timed his audience. He came out with a song 20 years ago. They play it every time somebody's birthday.
Every day.
The title is not birthday. Nope. But that when somebody's birthday comes, go short. It's your birthday. He took that, right? 10 years later, he knew his audience is going to grow up. And he introduced them into power. 20 years later, after his album came, and 10 years after he went into television, he still is relevant to this day. To now, he has his own network. So that's what you pivot. You pivot from being you pivot from being a worker to a boss, and now you're a boss of bosses.
There you go, because you done created them bosses.
And there you go.
Speaking of pivot, we got another artist that made a huge pivot. We talked about her not that long ago. Miss Beyonce. Last time we talked about her, we was talking about her whiskey that she put out.
Yeah, the Japanese whiskey.
Yeah. So in that episode, I made the proclamation that country is gonna take over as the dominating genre, right? And y'all looked at me. Dr. Poole was the guest that night. Y'all was looking at me all funny, but to back that up, Beyonce is kind of in her feelings right now because she got overlooked in the Country Music Awards. She didn't get nominated for nada. So if country is not taking over, when you have someone that's an elite like a Beyonce, why would her feelings get hurt if she didn't get nominated for the Country Music Awards? That's my question.
I would say is because of the fact that she belongs there. Country music is still music, and it's good music. It's different if you were just trying to make a song just to say I want to branch into this genre. But the music is extremely good.
It is good, and I think that album Cowboy Carter is what started the takeover for country music. I think so, because a lot of our communities weren't checking for country like that until she made that Texas Hold'em. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then she
St. Texas.
Yep.
We gonna hold them.
And she has Shabuzi featured on that album, which he took over. Shabuzi, on the other hand, he got nominated twice in the Country Music Awards. His song, Bar Song, got nominated for Single of the Year. And he got nominated for Artist of the Year. So and he's black. One of the things that the article talked about too was talking, hey, it's country music, racist, trying to lock people out. I'm like, Shabuzi, he black. And he got nominated twice, and that's a hell of a banger that he has. But I hear what you're saying. Does she belong there? Maybe. Now hear me out, because she dominates R&B urban music, right? And first time out, to be nominated for something. If I'm a country artist, or even maybe the part of the group that votes for the award winners and nominations and stuff, I don't know how I feel about voting for someone who came from another genre that dominated, who came into ours. Like, I don't know, man. Versus Shabuzi, he's been doing country, right? That's been his thing. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what if we had someone say, like, let's say, Jelly Roll. Let's say Jelly Roll all of a sudden now wants to just go over to R&B. Should he be able to just get nominated for R&B award his first time out in R&B?
If the music is good, the music is good. I would give it to him. See, there's gatekeepers. But Bobby, I want your input, because Bobby siding, but I want to listen to what she got.
Your thoughts, Bobby.
Come on, Bobby. I am gonna say my thoughts. So look, let's talk about it.
There we go.
Music is absolutely for everybody, every genre. There ain't no skin color. This ain't an issue of skin color. It's not. And for people trying to do that, or even mention that, I think that's just reaching. It may honestly just not be time for Beyonce, but we don't know what those choices were. For the people who do the gatekeeping for those nominations, we don't know. So it's up to speculation at this point. I do like Shabuzi's music. I'm actually gonna go see him on Wednesday with Jelly Roll.
Hey.
So I think that kind of to what you said, G, was Shabuzi was already in that genre, whereas Beyonce isn't. And not only that, but Shabuzi is actually touring with people who do only country, whereas Beyonce's been since she left Destiny's Child. So she has definitely dominated the music. She is very good and very talented in the field of music that she does. And so either two things: either one, it ain't time for her yet, or either she just ain't come out with something that maybe they wanted to hear. I don't know.
Good point. And Dr. Poole on IG, he said to my question I asked about Jelly Roll, he said BET will put Jelly Roll on. I think he has a point, yeah. But to everyone's point, especially to your point, Bobby, I think you're right. Maybe it's good to like, because I like it, but then again, I'm not, I'm not originally a country music fan, right? It was her urban seasoning within the country music she made that made me like it, right? So maybe the people that voted maybe want to see more country. I don't know. Right. I don't know if her music met their standards.
Well, here's the thing. I know like country music has like 7 awards a year. They have country music awards. They have country. They have several, because I've seen them. I was like, oh, it's another country music award. I'm like, okay, great. Maybe she didn't make the cutoff for this one, but she probably did on the others. But here's the thing. I believe that her making the music, if she made the music potentially for the love of the genre, it shouldn't matter whether she made it or not.
Yeah.
She made the music for her, and she make the music for her fans.
Mm-hmm.
The people who give these awards and nominations, that's good for like artists to get more exposure. Beyonce don't need that exposure.
Don't need none of that.
Yeah.
That's good for those, like these nominations and stuff is good to help their monetization grow. Beyonce's probably a billionaire right now. Real talk.
Yeah.
You know what
She
I'm
is
saying?
I'm pretty sure she is. And you know what? I'm sure she's feeling some kind of way about that, but it's hard for me to feel sorry for someone that goes home a billionaire. I think she's gonna be okay.
Yeah, like I said, she's gonna be all right.
She will be just fine.
She'll be all right.
Okay.
She'll be all right. Speaking of feeling some kind of way, we gotta remember and give flowers and say rest in peace to another artist. Last week we lost Rich Homie Quan. So that was sad as well too, man.
That was sad. And what I don't like about when we have these artists that pass away, it seems like the media has nothing to do with them, that don't listen to hip hop, that don't listen to his music. You know what I'm saying? They want to exploit it for the views, right? I'm not even gonna. Okay, I didn't. There's the 911 tape that's out there. Why? You don't need that. Why would you want to listen to this man's when they discovered that he passed away and listen to the 911?
Yeah, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Well, I mean, we've already made it. We've said this, right? The media's here to get those ratings. They need to sell those advertisement slots. They're gonna do what's gonna get the ratings. Drama sells, man. So
it does, but at what cost now? At what cost are we? You know what I'm saying? Because if they're no different than the people with their phones out trying to go viral after a kid got hit by a car and not going to help it. You feel me?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know
and
Bobby,
you said this, I think in the last episode, man. It's just people want that clout.
Yeah.
Hey, it was horrible, but hey, I got 150,000 views.
Right. And it's the bad part about it is it's like, what's your next post gonna be? A cat video? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. I never knew Rich Homie Quan. I just knew his music.
I know the music, yeah.
Some of the music that he, gonna die for my mama, everything is gonna ride for my mama. You know what I'm saying? I like his music. You know what I'm saying? Didn't know the man, but I would never want anybody to have the 911 recorded call.
Nah.
And put it out. So whoever released that, you know what I'm saying? God got a special place in hell for you, brother.
Man, but one thing I do want to share, because when he came out, I mean, he came out.
Let's be fair.
What?
He said, or sister. Let's be fair.
Yeah, so I remember when he came out, he came out hot, right? That song you was just singing, right? That I'm gonna ride for my some. But anyway, so I just came back from Korea, right? I was stationed and just got to Fairfield, California. I was walking to my house, coming home from work one day, and there was a car full of white girls, right? Race does matter in this because it's gonna come together, right? Yeah. They're blasting that song loud as hell, and all of them are yelling at the top of their lungs, I'm gonna ride for my. And I was just like, I looked, and I'm like, do I get mad because they saying the N-word? Like they saying the at least. It wasn't a hard ER.
Not the hard R. Not the hard R.
Not the hard R, but they just singing the song, but they in it. And I'm pretty sure they were all each other's ninjas. You know what I mean? So I'm like, someone that can have that effect. That's some talent, man. That's some talent where I had to look and check myself like, they don't mean it like that. They just sing the song and they riding with they.
You know what I mean?
But another thing, man, there were speculations that he may have had an overdose. And a couple of things I thought about, right? Because he was hot. Keywords was hot, right? And that's just part. And I'm not trying to throw shade. It happens, right? Yeah. You get hot. No telling how long this is gonna happen. We both, had music careers and stuff. Me, I was underground. And when I came to a point that I had to give up the music, man, I went through like a little bit of depression. It happens, man. When you put so much into something you love, man, You know, it relies on if people like it. You know what I'm saying? It's very subjective. So like I can only I never made it to that level with music. So I can only imagine when you've been to the top and then you're not on the top anymore. I can only imagine what type of mental effect that has, right? And that's why we bring Sarah to talk about mental health. And maybe the brother was self-medicating. I'm speculating, right? But I can only imagine, man. So I look at this as another way to kind of just reiterate, man. Get that mental health checked out, man. Take care of that brain, man.
Take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of those you love around you.
Yeah, and he had babies. He had babies. His father was his manager. You know what I'm saying? So I also say that he was 34 when he passed.
Young man. Yeah, man.
Very young. Yeah.
Very young.
Ahead of him.
And I say this to artists. When you make music, to avoid situations where you're gonna feel like, you know what I'm saying, the music I make ain't hot anymore. Don't make it for if you can, right? Because I understand when you sign to a label, you have to do what they tell you. That's like, even though you're a vegan, you still got to push these burgers at Burger King if you work for Burger King, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's a contract, it's a job. You got to do the job to get your pay. But once you stop, remember that's a gift God gave you. You're not supposed to sleep on it. You're supposed to make sure you do it because that gift also makes room for you. So in the event, if that gift wasn't making room for you at the top, it still made room for you somewhere, so where you could be able to attach yourself to the core fans. With that being said, make music for you
and your fans.
And make your following. We all have a tribe that we are accounted for and we have to connect to. Use your gift for that. That way, you're going to always have a following because, you know what I'm saying? Like you just said, his song influenced a whole different culture and brought him to our culture, right? And he was just the hook on that song. But that
was
hook,
a powerful hook, man.
I guarantee you, that was
fire. When that comes on that.
You know what I'm saying? He an Atlanta rapper. But we blasting it on the West Coast.
Yeah, man. So rest in power, Rich Homie Quan, and condolences to the family, man. Moving it forward. Earlier we talked about Minecraft, and we dropped a little breadcrumb about Roblox. Oh, and there was more that you wanted to talk about Roblox, wasn't there, Bobby?
So talk to us about this.
Yeah, so there's a video that went viral of a mom, and she said, "Hey, for those of you parents out there who let your kids, play Roblox, it seems real innocent." And she shows basically this one place called Dress to Impress. There's this little area where if you move your character to a certain area, it takes you to this little secret chamber that takes you into a dungeon. And there's a girl down there who's kidnapped. There's candles everywhere. She's asking for help. And your character is kind of like walks around. It's very dark. It's very satanic looking. Just as a Christian, as a mom, I'm looking at it. I'm like, what in the world is this? And so I paused the video. I don't even respond to my sisters because my sister sent it to me. I don't even respond. I call my daughter Grace into the room, and she's 8. And I said, "Hey, come here. I want to show you this." And so I start showing her the video. She goes, "Oh yeah, I know where that's at." I'm like, "What? You know what this is?" She's like, "Yeah." I said, "Who's this girl?" She goes, "Well, rumor has it it's Lana from the hair salon." I was like, "Who the hell's Lana? What are you talking about?" I was like, "What do you think about this?" She goes, "I don't know. It's weird, but I just don't go over there." Oh, well, why don't you go over there? She goes, "I don't know. I just don't like it. That one's boring." And I was like, boring? And so I immediately, I reached out to the group and I said, "Gee, Corey, what do you think? Let's talk about how, these little pieces of code. We want your kids to be encouraged to take video games to the next level and to learn how to code. But what do you do when people who are adults building these games, you know damn well that any little secret chambers that take you into a dungeon with a kidnapped character asking for help, that's not accidental. That's not an accident.
It's not. And let me tell you. You know what I'm saying? Geronimo, you may want to cut cover your ears because I'm about to go a little biblical, right? So in the Bible, it teaches not money ain't the root of all evil. The love of money is for the root of all is the root of all evil. And with that being said, people with perversion minds will be able to tell kids to get on there and interact and do these things. And I mean, you think about it, like they were going to a dressing room in the game, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was like a dressing room. You can change your character into different outfits,
and you can buy stuff. You use digital dollars to buy stuff with Roblox, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? If a kid gets caught up and then like, ooh, what else can I do? What else can I do? Mm-hmm. That because the Idle Minds is the devil playground. Pointblankperiod.com hashtag. You already know. So when they're doing that, it gets curious, and that curiosity starts feeding to them. So they start doing other things, and either the people who bought it, they had intentions. Okay, well, if they don't go into this dark room, they still gonna buy something. And I tie that into is making the kids who play this game don't think logic. They just think, oh, I can do this, I can do this. And it triggers that dopamine part in your brain that gets them addicted to certain things.
And desensitized.
Thank God your daughter had the wherewithal to be like, nah, that's boring. God probably protected her eyes, her ear gates, her mind gate to make sure that she doesn't interact to things like that. Because I don't let my kids do Roblox at all.
Yeah, so I ended up telling her, like, hey, listen, Roblox are going to be a thing. You're going to be sitting next to me while you're playing, and I'm going to be monitoring what you're doing. I'm just going to have to be that parent, because if you want to play the game, I got to be able to see what it is that you're doing in here. Because if some of this stuff starts to desensitize your kids, and after a while, they're just completely oblivious to it.
We got
that's not what I want.
On IG. Creative Native asked a couple of questions, or he asked one question: have you played it? To anyone over here, I don't have time for video games, so I haven't played it. And then he said that the symbols and sayings that are in that game room are the same major artists have at their concerts. I've never seen it, so I don't know. I haven't really seen much on Roblox, so I got to take that word for it. I don't know. Now, I will say this. So last week, because we were talking about, stuff on social media, and we were talking about the whole freedom of speech thing too, right? So I will ask the question, does something like this, if you're a creator, would that fall under, okay, he's saying the satanic symbols, that the artists have
exactly what he was talking about. Thank you, Creative Native, for bringing that up.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I had no idea. So would that be something that, two questions. One, would that be something that would fall under freedom of speech as a creator? You're creating something. My other question is, how free should freedom of speech be?
Anything that's free has a cost. Anything free to have.
True. No such thing as a free lunch.
Well, do you think there would be other parents who would be, let's flip the script for a second, right? Do you think there would be other parents who would be up in arms if they ended up finding out that there was another little secret room, and maybe it takes you to these beautiful clouds with some golden roads, and they start talking about Jesus to the kids? Let's just say it was the other way around. Do you think that parents would be like, oh, you got people over here trying to push religion and stuff like that? And so it's like, freedom comes at a cost, right? I guess that includes the freedom of speech as well. You don't have the freedom from being offended. Offended.
Good point.
You don't have that. You do not have the right to not be offended. That's your choice. If you choose to walk in a spirit of where you're constantly being offended, that's on you, boo.
Right.
You need to figure that out. But to kind of speak to your point, it's kind of hard because it's built into a game,
right? And
I would say maybe it falls more into like a quality assurance type of deal, where it's like, who's monitoring the game before stuff goes out into production? Who's testing the environment, and who said, yes, let's put a dungeon with the girl asking for help?
What's the rating of the game? Because because they do have the ratings. Let me see. He said, what's the rating of the game? Everyone and stuff like that should not be in. Okay, so I'm assuming it's rated E. I don't know. I've never really seen it. I'm assuming it is rated E. And stuff like that should not be in the game. But rated M, mature, 18 plus, then shame on the parents. So I don't know the rating of that game. Can who
well,
that
Roblox, I believe, is rated E for everyone.
Yeah.
The only thing about
that's what I was under the impression of, which is why I wasn't looking heavy into it.
But see, the thing about it is, somebody had to create that room.
Oh no, it has a ESRB assigned rating of T for teen, with a content descriptor for diverse content, discretion advised with interactive elements.
Boom, there you go. So because I just had no idea, so it's not rated E, discretion advised. So then that goes back to
not recommended for children under the age of 13. Okay, so then I'll go back and I'll fix what I can in my household. I'm not about to justify anything or make excuses. I don't know what I don't know. Right. So I'll go back and I'll do my due diligence and I'll go take a look, because obviously if there's content in there I do not want my daughter Grace to be looking at, then that's something that we need to be discussing here. So
news you can for parents out there. If you got kids that are under 13 playing Roblox, you got a decision to make. And you got a conversation you got to have with them kids, man.
And what you don't want those kids are hackers on a platform such as that without your knowledge. Because you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't have no freedom to 18. I know everything.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So parents.
I knew it.
I'm a parent. Yeah, I was waiting for it. It's building up to some parents. I need to be a parent.
Talk to him, Geronimo. Fuck at him.
Hey, I mean, you gave you get. I feel like you gave the right way to do it, Bobby. You're right there watching, right? And if you're gonna have these kids, man, you need to raise these kids, man. Be there. When my older kids were younger, I used to watch them play the games so I could see what was going on. Yeah.
But back then, you could roll in the living room. Your parents could walk by and they knew exactly what you were looking at because it was on the little bitty TV where you turn the knob to turn it on. The volume.
I mean, when my son was just 10 years ago, he's playing Grand Theft Auto, but I'm watching what he's doing. He's about 13, 14. I'm seeing everything that he was doing. So I'm in the know, right? If you're not doing that, but you got an issue with it, then maybe you shouldn't get those games, for someone younger than that. Like the Creative Native said, it's up to the parent, right? You got to make that decision.
Parents have more discretion than others, so it just
Say what now?
Some parents have more discretion than others. She said,
yeah. Creative Native, I'm a gamer, so I know the do's and don'ts, but it's not a slap on any of you guys. Just information. It's good news you can use, baby.
Yeah.
We got to get this out there, man. We got a lot of parents in our community, so I didn't know that, right? So I may have let my daughter play Roblox. She ain't playing it now.
Yeah.
No. No.
I'm about to check that tablet when we get off of here. Bliggity, bliggity, block.
Yep.
Block. Exactly. Daddy, it's not working. It ain't supposed.
Mommy, something wrong with the iPad. Oh, there is. Refresh.
Letting my 13-year-old play game GTA. 13 years of age when the kids are out there, sexual curiosity starting, right? Way to train the next generation. SMH. He's a teenager. I was playing. He's a teenager. I was playing. I was a hero, saving people from situations. But as an adult, I played games like GTA where I could just shoot anybody, anytime. Hey, man. Hey, parent, how you want to parent? Like I said, I was right there with him. So I knew everything that was going on. We have conversations. We had that talk, right, to the sexual curiosity. And let me tell you how that talk went. The talk was like this. It was about 95% child support. I showed him my LEF military, right? I showed him the section right there where they was taking child support payments. He was like, dang, Dad, they take that amount out? And I was like, yes, they do, son. So anytime you want to go out there and have unprotected sex, just remember my paycheck stub and how much money they're taking out this child support. The other 5% was talking about protection and being safe and stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, hey,
you had the maturity and then the money.
There you go.
Maturity and
the money. You want this child support that I got? Then you need to be careful. And I even told him I can't help you pay your child support because I'm paying child support on you. So this ain't gonna work.
Like, we're not trying to inherit this. This is not something we don't want to inherit that.
And Creative Native said it's cheaper to keep her. It sure is. That's if you can convince her to stay.
Ooh.
That is a whole other episode that at some point we can get into.
That's you know what we got one.
I will get
one of these quarters we just gonna have to have a just unfiltered episode where we just talk about
it's gonna be an ugly discussion.
Yeah. We'll live stream it on X.
Yeah, we'll live stream it on X. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll take it over there. Yeah.
So there it is. Parents be them parents. But taking it on a lighter note, right? We got some positivity to spread, man. Hit us with some inspiration, Corey.
Oh man, you know I got to talk to you about the Paralympics still going strong. Actually, yesterday is when it wrapped up. And look, let me tell you something. Whether you're a regular athlete or a Paralympic athlete, you are an athlete.
Yep.
Nigeria's Oniyichi debuts as a gold record weightlifting. There you go. Thank you, Bobby. Help me, boy. And among others, you know what I'm saying? But I like this. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? You gonna let everybody get that one. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so the good thing, there's some good news, and then I didn't put it in there, but there also is some sad news about the Olympics. Not the Paralympics, but the regular Olympics. There was a gold medalist in Kenya. I don't have the name, but I just came across this. She died due to domestic violence.
Oh no.
She was a medalist and she was a runner, but unfortunately, her significant other doused her in flames. Doused her with gasoline and threw some flames on her, and she died. So we want to say RIP to the Kenyan medalist out there. He actually got burned himself too, but I don't know how those laws were out there because he was able to make bail.
What? It's literally the country that she's living in right now.
No, this is not this one. This is Kenya.
Okay.
She wasn't a Paralympic. She was part of the regular Olympics. And I say that to say this. I believe we need to appreciate life, appreciate people, and appreciate the things that we have in this country that, you know, like somebody in America throw gasoline on somebody and set them on fire. That person who does that is going to jail. There's no bail. That was something done in intent, right? But in other countries, not so.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just heartbreaking. For a woman to go, and she placed. She had a medal. I don't know if it was gold or silver or bronze, but she placed. So she did her country well. Just to go back and then from a significant other, probably a jealous one, because of the fact that the limelight was on her and not him, and he caused harm to her. So I want to say, you know what? Those who are in a country like America, regardless of what you may think, you are in a good place.
Oh yeah.
And
best place.
Elon Musk
Undebatable.
ain't in a good place with Brazil. Just to go, we're gonna spin it that way, because Elon Musk. We reported last week Brazil blocked X, right? X refused to move accounts from Brazil. Courts deemed that was unlawful. These accounts were responsible for posting political disinformation. Some were tied to attacks on Brazilian government buildings in January 2023. These attacks resembled the U.S. Capitol attack January 6, 2021. This battle between Elon Musk and Brazil spilled over to SpaceX and Starlink, which are all Elon Musk buildings. You know what I'm saying? Starlink was ordered to block access to X to users in Brazil, and then had its assets frozen by the Brazilian government as a way to force X to pay the $3 million.
My money by Monday.
By Monday. When Shotwell, the president of SpaceX, instructed employees to not travel to Brazil for business or personal reasons. That's crazy. SpaceX is also relocating all staff based in Brazil.
Yep.
Okay, transitional housing. This is a test of leverage versus politics. Who has the most leverage in this situation?
That's man. I'll tell you what, man. Musk got some cojones, man, to challenge a whole country. The whole country, dog.
You gotta love Musk, y'all. You gotta love him.
Look, man, here's a person who knows how to turn wealth into power. You know, we've always heard money, power, respect.
What
right?
you mean?
We also hear, like, you know what I'm saying, what you mean. But we also hear, you know what I'm saying, we have the questions. I know when, you know what I'm saying, in our young adult stage and in our, you know what I'm saying, our casual conversations, what would you have? Would you rather have? Money or power? And then some people say power. Some people say money. Elon has both. And he knows how to use it because he's literally saying, okay, I'm taking my SpaceX employees and I'm moving them out of the country. So you mean to tell me, even if I'm from Brazil, I get a free pass to Hawthorne, California?
Austin. No, actually, no. They're moving SpaceX to not Austin. They're going, I think, to Brownsville. I think Texas. They coming to Texas.
They're coming to Texas. They're coming to the US. You know what I'm saying? And with that, that's big. Yeah. Because of the fact that that's huge. That's a person who knows how to use his money with his power. I'm not, you know, I'm not a fan of Elon Musk's decisions, but I know that one thing's for certain, two things for sure. He knows how to use his money and he knows how to use his power.
No, that's for sure. I mean, because it's like, who else can go tit for tat with a whole country? It goes back to the whole expression that he with the gold makes the rules, right? He's like, okay, block me. I'm taking my employees out, which means I'm taking my money out of your country, right? Because now I don't know what type of dent that will make, but apparently it's gonna do something because now you're talking about some macroeconomics going on over there, right? Not macro, micro, over there, right? It's gonna impact because now you got other businesses, local businesses, that might be impacted with that, right? Who may have been what's the word I'm looking for? Patronized by some of those employees, right?
Right.
It's who's gonna fold here, right? Who can afford to fold is the question.
Right. Creative Native said Brazil didn't get the memo about Twitter trying to silence Elon. What did he do? He just bought Twitter. He was like, you trying to quiet me? Okay, let me just buy you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And ain't nothing, like I said, if you got power and you got money and you know how to use it, you're not just dangerous, but you are, you know what I'm saying? You're a threat.
You're a threat. He's a threat. He's definitely a threat.
Yep.
For a country.
And the crazy part about threats, man, it's crazy. Tying into threats, Bobby, tell us about what happened in Georgia.
So let's talk about this. So last Wednesday, kind of a somber story, going from, you know, the Olympics and talking about Elon and now into this, but I want to make sure and bring it up so everybody's tracking what's going on. Different, you know, news outlets are sharing different things. But last Wednesday, Appalachia High School in Georgia, about an hour from Atlanta, they had a school shooting. Two students were confirmed dead, and two teachers were confirmed dead. I think there were about 30 students that were injured in the process. And you know, wanting to talk about this and give you news that you can use that doesn't always make it good news. Sometimes there are some bad things. We can always look at the there's always going to be that silver lining to every story. One of them, that kid he's alive and he's in custody and he's facing, he already went to court, and they actually had some live footage that I saw from court. He's facing 4 felony count murder charges at the age of 14, and he is going to be tried as an adult. He will not be tried as a juvenile. So he's he's making big adult decisions. He's going to wear some big adult consequences to go with it, as he should. So there's no excuse for that. And sometimes, you know, I was telling G this morning when he came over and he and I were talking for a little bit. I had told him not every story is the same, and so you can't come to every single story when it comes to these high school shootings with just a one-way mindset. And so not everything is the same, but for this specific story, I'm gonna bring up about the parents. Now, parents are not always the problem. However, in this story, he was. The FBI was knocking on their door May of 2023. So over a year ago, he was already making threats. He was showing pictures of guns, you know, and the FBI already was watching him. And so I was like, how is this even a thing? FBI was watching him. They knew he was on their radar, but the dad is to blame on this too. But the dad, I think he was like 54 years old or something. He was an older man, and
older man.
Yeah, he was.
His mother and father split.
Yes, and so there was already issues of it being a broken home. I know the dad got charged as well. I believe he got charged with some form of like child neglect and something else with children. I know that his wasn't felony counts of murder like the son's was.
Was it?
However, dad is being charged. What?
Was it child endangerment?
It probably was child endangerment, and the only reason why, like, man, if your kid has mental issues, like, don't be stupid. You know there are some red flags. The moment FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, comes and knocks on your door and says, "Hey, we know for a fact that these came from you, you know, from your son." By the time Christmas time comes around, are you kidding me? He bought his son an AR-15.
He bought him the same weapon he did to go do the dirty work.
The weapon. And so as a gun owner, as a parent, I have questions. You know, and I want to know, like, what are the mental health aspects of that? What type of mental health state was the father in that he thought to himself, yes, this sounds like a good idea? He gave his son the tool to do a bad thing. Now we're not even going to talk about gun control because this ain't an issue about gun control. There was clearly you know, negligence in the home from the father, and that goes straight back to the adult. He was the adult in the house. There could have been rules. This whole thing could have been prevented, you know.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. 100%.
What I want to say is I saw a recording of the FBI recording in the past, right?
Yeah.
And the father said that all the guns will be locked up. They'll be, you know what I'm saying, put away. He won't have access. They'll be disappeared. And he also mentioned that he was like, why you have all these guns? He was like, well, you know, is your son, because obviously he been having issues before. And bullying came up. Mm-hmm. And that goes to the mental health, the mental health question. Are we at the schools? Are we not giving attention to the bullying? Because yes, this young man, you know what I'm saying? And I want to play angel's advocate for him, even though I did not like what he did.
I got something for you. Go with your point, and then I'm gonna follow through with what you're saying. I
think that if there was bullying, that should have been addressed.
100%.
But the father needs to take ownership instead of just saying giving him a gun.
Yeah.
Like, let's get him some better help therapy. Let's get him a couple of sessions to see what you know what I'm saying, how you feel about this, because those weapons are in those. The father has weapons and the son see the weapons. Yeah. So he knows that if he really wanted to do harm to somebody who bully him, he can go out and get it. And I don't know if his father was like, you know what, take this weapon to protect yourself. But an AR is an assault rifle, right? That's not a concealed weapon. That's something that you gotta carry and move strategically with, and you gotta have training to use that. Am I right? I've never shot one. but you got to have some type of training in order to do the damage that he did, because 9 other people outside of the 4 that were unalive were injured as well. So my thing is, where the father, was he trying to protect his son by saying, here, protect yourself with this, or did he neglect the decision of getting his son some therapy? Because bullies are going to always be there, but we have to find a way how to first, before attacking the bully or destroying the bully, let's bring our mind to a point where, okay, how can we deal with this mentally first? There's an issue there.
Yeah,
I think it's too early to start speculating anything about the story and about this kid, because he's a kid. He's 14 years old.
He's 14.
That's young. That's extremely young.
Yeah, and they said the only reason why he's not getting the death penalty because he's 14, but he is being tried as an adult. Right? Because you unalive 4 people. You got to answer for that.
Gotta pay.
After reading the story, I went to I always go to the comments, because sometimes people will bring up things that you don't even think about. And sure enough, I read through 2 comments, and I got to one who was a teacher. Somebody was a teacher for like 20 years. And they said that things have changed in the education system so much that now there's such a heavy teacher shortage. There's nationwide like bus shortages and stuff. So now if teachers bring up something, and let's say a teacher sees something and let's say they're wrong, they're afraid now to lose their job and get sued because they suspected something while they may have been wrong. And so now people are like walking on eggshells because they don't want to offend these certain students and stuff. And they said this kid could very well have been somebody who got left in the cracks, and he was only at the school for 2 days. This was his 2nd day of school.
It just started. Goodness.
Yeah, they said that he started.
We're already not paying the teachers good enough. Like, I mean, we pay them dirt too on top of that. So I don't know. I'm trying to empathize with the teachers. I don't know if I'm going that extra mile for what you just said. Right, I'm already walking on eggshells, and you barely paying me anything. Like.
And then you're already at risk of losing that. If you say something, say, hey, you know what? I think something's sketchy. Or, you need to mind your business. Oh, you need to just mind your business. Stop dry snitching on this family when you don't even know them.
And then I would wonder too, to your point about the mental health. Do schools still have like the support they need, the faculty they need, where you can maybe talk to a nurse or a therapist or something?
Counselor.
They have counselors.
So my wife is actually a BSAP counselor, which they have those roles there. And you're right, they will always need support in those areas. The thing about it is, there should before you become a teacher, I truly believe you have to ask yourself if this for purpose. Because if you're taking this position for pay, then you do more harm to these kids than you do good. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember, and Geronimo, we had in our English teacher, Miss Higa.
Ooh, okay,
and she she was like, she saw something in me, so she was like, I'm not gonna let you fail. You sitting right here in the front of the class. You doing this, you doing that. Yeah. We had other teachers when we were in junior high, Miss Payne. We had other teachers in high school, you know what I'm saying? Coach Barry, you know what I'm saying? Coach Stevens. These are people who were on that campus for purpose. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, they got paid. And no, when you take a job for the education system, you're not just doing your work, you're doing God's work, whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
And I always stress to the fact that if you see something, put yourself in a position of that child's parent. If something goes wrong, how would that child parent feel knowing that they get a call and say, hey, your daughter is at the hospital because there was a school shooting? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why if you're going to take a job as a educator, please, everybody listen to me, please. Do it out of purpose and not pay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If that's your purpose, if you know you have a knack that children come a crowd around you and they're just warmth around you and you can sew into them, that's purpose.
Yeah.
Looking at this job as, oh, this is a check. I'm gonna do this just so I can get my student loans reimbursed. Go somewhere else. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna mess up a life or lives, and we may be back in this situation yet again. Because 3 years ago we had the same situation about a kid going to a school and shooting up a school. And I'm tired of it. I am tired of it.
Yeah.
Kids should be able to have school for learning, because you can't learn in an uncomfortable environment. If you're ducking and dodging bullets, there's no way you can learn, because you're in field. You're scared every time that door opens and it's not a classmate. Somebody may be in there, assault rifle, ready to do harm.
Should be a safe space, man. And then Dr. Poole, man, he said when we were talking about the counselors are probably all busy because there's so many different people with different issues that cause them to be a little off. So I'm sure they're overworked and undermanned or underwomaned, right?
My daughter told me, because of the size of her school, that if she wanted to go see her counselor for anything, she has to absolutely make an appointment with them. And I was like, make an appointment? Like, there's no open door policy. You can't just go be like, hey, listen, I'm having a bad day. Oh, that sucks. Tell you what, reach me next week at, let's try this again Thursday at about 3-ish.
Yeah.
You know, that's.
But you know what, though? Honestly, I say that that's a reflection on us. And hear me out, because I forgot who I was listening to, right? It's clearly we're having a shortage of, educators, right? It's happening for a reason. The money goes to what we value, right? I would say that just overall, as a people, as a society, right, we just don't value education enough to where that's where the resources are going, right? Like, we all want our kids to be educated, right? But we don't treat it that way. So therefore, they're not getting paid what they need to get paid. So we got shortages. We got counselors that are overworked, without the proper staff to support it. So it's like, because we've had conversations like this before, right? Like, there needs to be a shift on how do we, right, show that and pivot back to actually putting more emphasis and purpose and care in the education system, so we could put more resources there, right? Because that's what it comes down to. I mean, there's
yes and no, though.
Issues. Go ahead.
Yes and no, because now you have to look at it like this. If we say, all right, all teachers are starting off at $60K, right? It makes the position more attractive. But are you willing to be able to put that time in to say, okay, well, it's $60K, but are you really a people person, or are you just a paper pusher? Because if you're a paper pusher, that $60K is just going to be more money for you. It still doesn't mean that you're going to put that time in for that student. You feel what I'm saying? That's the reason why teachers, I truly believe, they're undervalued and underpaid and overworked.
All of us,
you know what I'm saying?
Can agree with that. There's no debate there. There's none.
Right. But we need to get the people who will say, you know what? I'll take $50K if I can have a team of people that's going to be able to meet these babies where they are when they have a bad day.
Yeah.
Because you're not thinking about you. There's kids that come from traditional homes, and then there's kids that go from the foster system to a school.
Yeah.
There's kids that come in to a one-parent home to a school. There's latchkey kids.
Yeah.
These kids are still kids, right? I was a latchkey kid too. You see what I'm saying?
That generation, baby.
Yeah. And so it's like
flower pot.
You know what I'm saying? What happens when a kid finds out their best friend died? How do you
process that?
How do you cope?
Yeah.
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 And the counselor at the school, I'm sorry, they can't. I see what my wife does. My wife takes kids out and just sit down there and talk to them yeah, you're supposed to be in class, but you can't learn when you're in a state of shock, or you can't learn when you're in a state of depression, because kids get depressed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Life be life
for real.
My daughter told me too, like a lot of the kids like are sleeping and stuff in class, and I said, well, it may not be because they're tired. That sleepiness could just straight up be depression. They could just be depressed.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely. And we got some comments too on IG. This one is from Crystal Sparkley. Shout out to you. The kids that do these things are said to be on forums that idolize school shooters. That's one thing. And then she also said that I think there has to be more people on the right side of the law working to make sure things don't happen anymore. Not sure what's being done. Touche. I think it comes down to resources, man. How do we get these schools the resources they need to have more, maybe security, have more counselors? Because I would imagine
there's no one solution for this. It's not.
Yeah.
No, but you know what? This is what comes into play. Community partners. Because what I do know, my kids have community partners. I mean, not my kids. My kids' schools have community partners where people come in and teach them about tech. They can also come in and teach them about emotions. They can teach them about feelings. These are and there's grants and programs for small businesses like us to be able to go into those places right there and even teach them a skill. And hey, they want to learn about podcasting. Yeah, you know what? That podcasting allows them to get their voice out there, which is a form of what?
And it's an outlet. Yeah. No, that's excellent. Yeah. I like that idea. And you know what? I feel like maybe as we move forward, I think we should try to point people to those type of resources, right? Because that would be something to if we could get our girl Sarah involved, right? Get her talking to the youth to help them, give them some mental health skills. We can help teach these kids how to put an outlet on the podcast, right? And they can share those. If we need the counterbalance, right? If we have some folks on forums idolizing school shooters, we need to give them the counterbalance, give them a way to have that outlet to talk about, hey, how do you deal with this? How do we get past the emotions? I mean, we, the adults, can try to teach them, but they may need their peers to talk amongst each other to actually work things out. And maybe us, the elders, help guide them through it. Right. So I like that idea. Thanks for that. That was a good question, Crystal. And she said that what we're throwing out are great ideas too.
Oh, hey, Crystal, you already know. Put us in the right people. Put us in the right place, Crystal. Put us in the right people, because if you know somebody, share the podcast to them. Share it to them. And we got to get these conversations going, right? Because it's not just us; it's everyone here. IG, Facebook, YouTube. Like, hey, man, whatever we can do, get those community partnerships going, man. Help Creative Native said, in my opinion, I believe cell phones and social media is the cause in high levels of depression in this newer generation.
So I've said the same exact thing. There's too much fake stuff happening where these kids have unrealistic expectations too, like about the way that they look, about other people's lives, or these expectations they're never going to meet because you're 13. You don't have 4 million followers. Like you're doing things for the following, for the likes, for the clout, for the gram. I do it for the gram, And so I said the same thing too, that I saw the way social media was going, and it kind of leans into the whole idea of freedom of speech and stuff. You have the freedom to pass over misinformation and stuff too, and that goes the same thing with the kids. The kids start believing stuff. They start looking at things and start believing things without even going to do their own research. They're like, oh, I saw TikTok. I saw that you can do this. I'm like, well, that was wrong.
Yep. So maybe what we need to do is go back to the way Facebook was set up. Because remember, Facebook was set up for college students initially. And then you had the maturity to understand, like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to expose myself to that. Yeah. But now, TikTok,
Now, I've always supported the states that are passing laws to ban social media for kids under a certain age. Florida just passed it. In Florida, kids cannot be on social media if they're under 16. That I support that idea, because I need you.
Same thing in my house. No social media until after the age of 16. No social media, no dating after 16.
No social media, man. No social media until you can buy your own phone.
I like it. I like that too.
Yeah.
I like
that.
Here's the thing.
I'm okay with that.
Words are weapons.
Yep.
And if we
Powerful.
give these kids weapons in the form of a phone, then us as the parent will be in that same situation as the fathers and the mothers of this 14-year-old boy, 13-year-old boy.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Cyberbullying is real.
Well,
people see a post about themselves.
It's a physical bullying too, because they were having TikTok challenges to beat people up and stuff, man. So
yeah, I was like, oh my God, like you really want your kid to go up to a perfect stranger and knock them out? And guess what happens if you miss? And that perfect stranger says, "I'm gonna do," and I'm in a concealed carry state, and you come and harm at me, and then now you're unalive. But yeah, I gotta wear one. Not only is I have to protect myself, but now I gotta wear this on my shoulders for the rest of my life, knowing that I took out somebody because of the fact that I was protecting myself. And this bozo over here, not trying to call him a bozo, wanted to impress some people for TikTok.
Yeah.
No. That's the reason why you like TikTok, and I'm starting leaning more so towards the ban on TikTok, because why would you let a 13-year-old have an account? Have an account.
Dr. Pooh said these guys say no social media, but as soon as their kids go to school, they're gonna be all over their friend's phone. And then he also said they will find a way. One thing, and you know what? This is giving me an idea. There's apps and ways you can even if you want to give your kids phones, you can set up different firewalls and
there's device management. When I work in wireless,
you know what? I think that's something for parents.
I have device management through Apple. My daughter has an iPhone, and so I'm able to control what she looks at. So there's allowed websites, no allowed websites. There's a lot of stuff that's blocked, and there's limits. There's limits on different apps. So after a while, if she's been on Pinterest a little too long, hey, cuts off. And now you have to come and ask me for permission for more, and the answer is going to be no. She didn't even come and ask me, because it's going to be no. If I put a limit on there, it's for a reason. But you know, speaking of which, I actually had that conversation with my daughter, because she has another friend who came over, and I'm very close friends with that friend's parents, but that friend is allowed to have TikTok. And so I saw her one day with her friend's phone, and she's out here scrolling and doing something, and I just happened to catch her. I'm like, man, what are we doing? I was what were you doing? You can't lie. I already caught you. Caught you. I said, in so many words, kindly. I was like, if I ever catch your friend's phone in your hand, not only am I going to tan your hide, but your friend's phone is going to get taken while they're with us, because they are my responsibility. And that doesn't give you any room to sit here and try to break my rules using their devices. We're not going to do that. So I end up having I end up having a phone, a quick chat with the mom who I'm close to. And she goes, take her phone. If I need to get in touch with her, I'll call you. I said, cool, because I'm not okay with it, and she knows it. So this is laying down the rules.
We call parenting, people. Parenting these damn kids. I like that. So, hey, I support anything that's gonna block the social media, like all that. But you know what? Dr. Pooh made an excellent point. They will find a way.
Yes.
And for the states that are blocking social media and stuff, I think that's the contingency plan for that, right? Because if you, Bobby, and I and you, Corey, were like, nope, no social media film, I'm blocking on your phone. They're gonna try to get on it on their friend's phone. But if you got a state like Florida that already blocked it from 16 and below, there's no way they could find a way around it. They'll still go out and do it. They'll still do it, right? Because we found ways to get what we wanted when we were young, right?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then because we gotta move on. There's a light at the end of this tunnel that I really want to touch bases on.
Yeah, we're gonna end this on the pod. We're gonna end this on the pod.
You know what I'm saying? What can be done about these young people right now, especially those who are in issues with medical conditions such as sickle cell, gene editing. And there was a team who experienced. He was the first ever gene editing treatment. And this is dear to me. I'll tell you guys after you guys play the video clip because it's very heartening. It's not disheartening. It's an emotional part. So go ahead.
As part of a clinical trial for a completely new kind of treatment, Johnny is now one of the first people in the world to have his genes edited using CRISPR to treat his disease.
And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. And scary. I don't know. I feel like a guinea pig.
In sickle cell, a genetic to be misshapen, like crescents or sickles, they can get stuck in the blood vessels, causing severe pain and decreased oxygen to organs. CRISPR allows you to make a precise cut in DNA, in this case, a different form of the oxygen-carrying protein hemoglobin, a type we have when we're babies, explains Johnny's doctor, Monica Bhatia. Then the edited cells are returned to the patient.
So in essence, it's a fetal hemoglobin induction, oxygen, a higher oxygen carrying capacity than adult hemoglobin or sickle hemoglobin. And so, yes, it is more than good enough.
And so far, it has been good enough. 29 out of 30 patients, including Johnny, met the trial's goal, being free from having a pain crisis for at least a year after treatment. How long has it been?
2 years.
Now Johnny and his family celebrate his...
I got the infusion, so basically I got the whole new dose of cells and stuff.
And while Johnny didn't turn into a superhero, what he got might be even better.
So I'm starting to teach him.
Shout out to Johnny, man. Throw some horns on that, brother. We got to put some horns on that, man. Put some horns on there. Yeah, man. All right, so my stepbrother, R.I.P. Sean Benton. My stepbrother, he died at the age of, I believe, 34, 35, from sickle cell. He it's like a big brother to me. He was literally, because his father married my mother, and that's Pops. Pops was the man who raised me. And he would come along, and every time he come along, we'd be like thick as thieves. Because my older brother, Anthony, shout out to Anthony Dwayne Alvarez, a.k.a. Why Not My Big Bro. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother with the same mother, same father. You know what I'm saying? But when Sean came around, we called him Sean because his name was also Anthony too, but Sean came around. Sean was me. It's like my big brother got a big brother. So, you know what I'm saying? We be having fun. And I do remember, like, sometimes Sean couldn't come around because he was getting his blood transfusions. He was able to live past what the doctors told him he would live, but he still died at a young age. But he was able to have a boy. So shout out to my nephew, Noah. I haven't seen from Noah in probably about 10 years. And he had a daughter, Noelle. And I remember when Noelle was born, and she was born like, you know, she was when he with Noelle. They're teenagers now, but it's like sickle cell is one of the most painfulest diagnoses you can have because of the fact, you know, it's pain, and it's like they didn't know how to treat it in the early 90s. They didn't know how to treat it in the 2000s. This right here, I mean, this is amazing. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful that out of 30 candidates, 29 were able to have a success rate.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And
I still feel for that one person, because that one person is still going through those pains. And that we're talking about pains that we can't understand because it's in our blood. Yeah. It's not like on the surface level. But I'm so glad that they have found a way to fix it, because people just didn't. They was like, "Oh, you have sickle cell," and it's crazy because in order to have sickle cell anemia, you have to have both parents had to have one of the genes, and that is not impossible, but it's very rare. Yeah. Because only 100,000 people suffer with sickle cell in the United States. And out of the billion of people that's in the United States, 100,000 is very small. But that small record of people still need attention.
They do. Yeah.
And like I said, that the fact that they have something that is out here that's going to be able to treat these individuals, heal these individuals. I'm grateful to see this in my lifetime.
Yeah, man. And you know what? Thank you, science, right? We were talking about education, right? And we've had conversations here and there as far as like, is college worth it? Now, for the sciences, yes, because I need my researchers to go into those universities that do this type of research so that we can get this. You get what I'm saying? And also, too, this is another reason why I like tech so much. Where we are now, a lot of machine learning, AI, cloud computing is used to actually drive this, right? Now, this is really the power of everything I just said. AI, machine learning, cloud computing, using those resources to do these type of tests. And a lot of times they're replicating these type of tests in the cloud. Like, if we do this, make this adjustment here, this be implemented in real life, right? So that's what keeps me so passionate about tech, man. And again, we were talking about encouraging kids. Who knows? Someone watching this may have that kid that may be able to make this a very affordable treatment if you're one of the rare people that have it, right? Because right now the cost is like $2 million for the treatment,
right?
And we got to get that down, right? But we need the skills. We need people with the skills to get that, man. So that definitely a step in the right direction, man. I love it.
Yeah. I'm truly, you know what I'm saying, I'm happy because when I think about sickle cell, I think about, you know, there's celebrities like T-Boz from TLC. She suffers with I'm pretty sure a lot more celebrities do as well. But it's the thing about it is like there's a way to help a healing baby, because you got to think about it. Babies deal with this, like even when they can't communicate.
I was just thinking that.
They know pain. And sometimes when we, you know what I'm saying, I can just think on a handful of times when my baby girl was crying and she was screaming when she was a baby, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong. Was you hungry?
Yeah.
Was you sleepy? What was it? But you know what I'm saying? Thank God it wasn't this. It was just diarrhea, or it was, you know what I'm saying, something manageable, right? So, you know, I just pray that this go ahead and get its full attention. You know what I'm saying? It gets its full attention. And in the meantime, in between,
just real quick, the name of that treatment is CRISPR, CRISPR. If anyone knows anyone that could benefit from that, CRISPR. That's the name of that treatment. Get that out there. Again, news you can use, right? We trying to take care of people. But Corey, I think you was about to wrap this up for us. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. We about to wrap it up. It's time to go with a bow. It's your boy Corey Giovanni, bringing you the news that you can use with Technically Speaking with Tech Von Go and Bobby BOBI, not a Y, because a Y is for the guy. It's your time to unwind. G-Mo, tell them where they can find you.
Man, y'all can find me on all platforms except for TikTok. So I don't do TikTok at tech_von_go. Reach out to me, send me a DM. Let me know what topics y'all want to hear about, and we'll cover it. So, Bobby, let them know where they can reach you at.
Y'all can hit me up on Facebook, Bobby Lopez. You'll know it's me because there ain't nothing fake about my account. You see, you get what you get. And you don't throw fit. And you hit me up on IG at bobby.lopez.5. I'll be looking forward to your messages. Hit me up in my DMs if you do have questions pertaining to the podcast only. Don't play. Don't play.
Make sure you put that
podcast only. Yeah, I'm glad you put that out there. And if you're on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe and click that notification bell so you can get notified of new episodes. Other than that, thanks for showing us love, IG, Facebook, and
Yeah, I like your
Hey,
shirt,
hey,
man.
hey.
Looks good.
Merch
Hey, that's
coming soon, all right? You know what I'm
right.
saying? Coming soon. We gonna be
soon.
look. I'm
Oh,
letting
yeah.
y'all know. Hey, right now, look in my eyes. Okay, serious. We are about to start putting in merch. We got the Technically Speaking. Thank you to Bobby Lopez for bringing us the gear, the merch. You feel me? Thank you for Gmo Tech Van Go with the design and show them the barcode, son. Show them the barcode. Show them the barcode, son. It's on the road. There you go. There, QR. You know what I'm saying? And yo, guess what? When mines come, I'm gonna be at it like crack addicts and bad habits, doing things that gonna make some change. It's your boy Corey Giovanni. You already know how to get in contact with me, and if you don't, that means you ain't supposed